Hello, everybody. This is Gary. Today is November 11th, 2021. It is 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in the United States in Rochester, New York. And this is my Coping with Schizophrenia blog entry for today. Today I'm doing pretty good. I went to see my psychiatrist today, and it was the first time that I had seen him in about 6 weeks because he was on vacation. However, I have been seeing my therapist over the past several weeks, and I saw her again today. I saw my psychiatrist and my psychotherapist on the same day. I happened to make two appointments on the same day. That wasn't intentional. It's just the way it worked out. I didn't notice it until I checked my schedule a couple of days ago, but I met with my psychiatrist today at 1 p.m. and my therapist at 1:30 p.m. and we went over some stuff. One of the things we went over was my medications. Um, because my psychotic symptoms were too severe today, my paranoia, my delusions, my hallucinations, we didn't adjust any of my antipsychotic medications. I'm taking the same medications and dosages of those two medications. Um, Zyprexa 5 milligrams twice a day and Seroquel 600 milligrams at bedtime. We did talk about my Klonopin, and we agreed that I'm allowed to take 1/2 a milligram of Klonopin twice a day for a total of 1 milligram per day. Um, my anxiety is really intense during the fall and winter, and me and my psychiatrist will reevaluate periodically by taking Klonopin for anxiety because obviously Klonopin can be physically and mentally addictive. And my psychiatrist did make it perfectly clear we're not going above 1 milligram per day in my Klonopin. Um, we did adjust my gabapentin, which is also known as Neurontin. Up until now, I have been taking 300, actually 600 milligrams of Neurontin gabapentin 3 times daily for anxiety. But me and my psychiatrist discussed it. We're not sure that the gabapentin with the Neurontin is actually doing anything to help with my anxiety. So we didn't eliminate the Neurontin, but we did agree to remove one of the dosages, which I take at noon. Up until now, I've been taking Neurontin 600 milligrams 3 times a day, so now I'll be taking it 600 milligrams twice a day. That's one of the medication changes we made, and the other one being the Klonopin, where I'm allowed to take 1 milligram per day. I'm not required to take the Klonopin if I don't need it. I'm just allowed to take up to 1 milligram. I could take less or none, depending on how bad my anxiety is. Um, but my doctor didn't want to mess around with my antipsychotics. Those are the most important medications I'm taking because they control my hallucinations, or at least the intensity of my hallucinations. It doesn't get rid of my auditory hallucinations, hearing voices. When I hear voices, they usually tell me people are following me, they're out to get me, they're spying on me, that kind of thing. Right now, they're kind of low key. But my doctor didn't want to mess around with the antipsychotic dosages, with the timing of the dosages, so we kept the Zyprexa at 5 milligrams twice a day and Seroquel 600 milligrams at bedtime. Um, and we really didn't change anything else. Well, we did change my nicotine lozenges. I'm still not smoking cigarettes. And we decided to go from 4 milligram lozenges once every hour up to 16 lozenges a day to 2 milligram lozenges once every hour up to 16 lozenges per day. Um, I don't want to smoke cigarettes again. Um, there's no end date that me and my psychiatrist agreed on about when I should stop taking nicotine lozenges. He felt it was more important just to not smoke cigarettes rather than set an actual date to remove the nicotine altogether. He said, I'm dealing with an awful lot right now, and it's best just to stay on the nicotine for now while I concentrate working on other issues. Now, as far as my therapist is concerned, we discussed a lot of things. Um, we talked about my meditation practice and how I try to meditate to calm down. There's plenty of videos on YouTube that people can use to meditate. I don't suggest anyone with a psychosis takes up a meditation practice without talking to their psychotherapist, their doctor, or their psychiatrist beforehand. I'm not a medical doctor, and I'm not going to recommend meditation unless it's approved by your therapist or your doctor or your psychiatrist, because everybody is different. But if you do meditate, some of my favorite meditation channels include Jason Stevenson, Meditation Vacation, Michael Seeley, Tansy Forest, and a few others. There's plenty of meditation material on YouTube. One of the other things my therapist is trying to do, she's trying to get me into a psychotherapy group. She made a referral, but she didn't hear anything back. And so she renewed the referral, and she said she would get back to me. We discussed another way of my dealing with anxiety other than just medication, and one of those groups would be helpful in that area. We discussed a new type of therapy that I could go through. I forget the name of it, but it involves dealing with stress and anxiety as it comes on, especially when it's particularly intense. Um, but I forget the name of the new therapy, but it's a way of dealing with stress as it's happening. And it basically involves just enduring the stress and anxiety and understanding that it's temporary, and understanding that sometimes the best thing you can do is just try to ride it out. I think it's called DBT therapy. It doesn't try to necessarily get rid of the anxiety or the stress, but just to cope with it as it's happening. So I'm not sure if the therapist that I have now is a therapist that I will have in the future. I mean, the goal is for me to have a therapist. There's no doubt about that. But the therapist I have right now is called the crisis therapist. And the goal, as I understood it originally, was to assign me to a permanent therapist that would be a different therapist. But then again, my crisis therapist said she may, in fact, become my permanent therapist. So that's kind of up in the air. There's no doubt that the goal is to get me a permanent therapist. I'm just not sure who it's going to be yet. It may be the therapist that I've been seeing. It may not be. I don't know. I did make the request that I prefer to see a female psychotherapist. I really don't work well with male psychotherapists. So me and my therapist discussed meditation, group therapy. I have her direct telephone line to call her if I'm in a crisis and I need to see her sooner. And we discussed DBT therapy, which I will be trained in. And pretty much that's all we discussed for now. Like, comment, share, subscribe. If you want to help my channel grow, share this video on social media. It helps my channel grow. Press the notification bell if you want to know when I put out new videos. If you want me to do a video on a specific topic, let me know in the comment section. That's it for now.